in the shadow of William Penn's hat. He couldn't make a building in Philadelphia taller than the brim. That's William Penn's hat, sitting atop City Hall. Phillies won the first 2 games of this home-and-home series. They've beaten the Mets 8 of the last 10. There's the Honda Mets starting lineup tonight. Pete Alonso up to the 2-hole. Mark Vientos slots in at 5 in his return to the team. And the Mets hope that this is a winning formula tonight against Rangers. Suarez, his first pitch is in for a called strike, and we're underway. Brandon Nimmo went 0 for 8 in the 2 games in New York after his walk-off home run against the Braves on Sunday night. And Suarez goes to the off-speed pitch and gets ahead 0-2.
Remember, Brandon, I'm sorry, Ronnie, go ahead with
the 75th career start for Rangers. Suarez, 7-0 this year, but he's got a 9-game winning streak if you go back to last year.
Look at that whip at the bottom, 0.72. There just hasn't been anybody on base against him. Nimmo, though, hits one out to center field, but Rojas cuts across, and he gets it. Oh, and then drops the ball. And Nimmo is safe at first base. Johan Rojas, normally so sure-handed in center field, and he just flat-out dropped that one. And so the Mets have a leadoff base runner on an error.
Well, got a little casual. There you go.
It's the second one I've seen this year. Style Master down.
So the Mets get an early break. We'll see if they can cash it in. Pete Alonso, 6 RBIs in his last 6 games. Moved up to the 2-hole tonight. And he takes a sinker outside for ball 1.
And you noted the whip on Suarez. 8 walks in 54 innings pitched.
And that's skimmed foul. Suarez has made 8 starts. He's won 7. The Phillies have won all 8. Find a pitcher whose team has won his first 8 starts with a whip that low to start a season. You got to go back before 1910. That's how historic this beginnings of the season has been for Ranger Suarez.
Dominant.
Runs that cutter inside, and it's 2-1.
And that's the big thing I remember. I like Suarez from the get-go. He pitches right-handers inside, and he's not a fireballer.
And Pete swings and misses at the changeup, and it's 2-2.
Well, you move people around in the lineup. Pete was moved up to the 2 holes, Gary said. It wasn't because of career stats. Hasn't had a hit against Ranger in his career yet.
The OPS against Suarez's changeup this year is 0.57. Not the batting average, the OPS, 0.57.
Oh, yep.
Got him. There's umpire Brian Knight gave him that low inside corner, and Alonso's out for the first out of the game.
And your Philly defense brought to you by Defender, and you get Alec Bohm back at third base. Bryce Harper returns to the lineup at first base. Christian Pache gets the first start of this series. Is this considered still the same series?
You know, it's all a matter of opinion, Keith.
To me, it's not, because you're in a different venue, different stadium.
I'm with you.
Here, weigh in.
I like the uniqueness of the home-and-home series, so I'm going to consider it one big series. But officially in the stats, it's 2 separate series.
Gotcha.
And Lindor
wow.
gets nicked by that pitch, and he'll take his base. Francisco barely reacted, but he is hit by the pitch, and the Mets have 2 men on.
Well, the Mets have been struggling scoring runs. No attempt to get out of the way of that. Maybe they're just going to try to scratch a few here.
Well, they got a break on the drop fly ball. Now they've got a base runner on a hit by pitch. So 2 men aboard for J.D. Martinez, moved up to the cleanup spot in this reshuffled Mets batting order. J.D. went 3 for 7 in the series in New York with a couple of doubles and 2 RBIs. It is a murky night in Philadelphia. And a curveball outside for ball 1. It was supposed to rain. That was the forecast as of yesterday, but it's not rained today, but it has been cloudy and overcast, and you can barely see Center City, Philadelphia out beyond the center field fence. Curveball hit sharply and short hop there nicely. They get the out at third, and that's all. Nice short hop pick by Sosa, and he gets the lead man. 6-5 putout retires Nimmo.
Well, he got the short hop on the backhand. Now Nimmo had to hold because he wasn't sure that was going to be caught on the fly, so he was an easy out at third. He had to hold, nothing you can do.
And I think because it wasn't hit that hard, that's why Sosa decided to go to third for the sure out.
I think he would have had a double play with Martinez running, but we'll never know. Here's Mark Vientos. Was called up today. His last start for the Mets was April 29th against the Cubs, and he flies one along the left field line over toward the corner. That's going to be down for an extra base hit. Lindor is in with the first run of the game. Martinez to third. Mark Vientos wasting no time, and he drives in a run with a double, and the Mets have a 1-0 lead.
Well, welcome back. First pitch fastball hitting. One to come inside. Little cutter. He got it in there. He turned on it.
What a 2-out knock. I've had a lot of those in recent games.
So Vientos drives in his third run of the year. And the Mets have second and third with 2 down for Starling Marte. Down to number 6 spot in the batting order, and he takes a low inside for ball 1. Marte has been the Mets' best hitter against lefties this year, and he's always hit well against the Phillies. .373 lifetime against Philadelphia, including a couple of hits yesterday. And Suarez misses inside, and it's 2-0.
Well, that's on me.
Not you. Well, of course.
It's on Johan.
I was mimicking.
Hit hard and caught by Bohm to end the inning. That looked ticketed toward the hole. Might have been 2 more runs, but Marte gets robbed by Bohm, and the Mets settle for just the 1 unearned run. There's the Hyundai starting lineup for the Phillies, who are more healthy today, with JT Realmuto playing for the first time in 4 days. Bryce Harper sat with a migraine yesterday. Realmuto has been bothered by a sore right knee, but they're both in there tonight against Joey Lucchesi, who makes his season debut for the Mets.
Well, those are his numbers in AAA of this year. He finished the season strong for the Mets last season, coming back from Tommy John surgery.
Kyle Schwarber will lead off for the Phillies. And Schwarber hits a 2-hopper to McNeil. 1 pitch by Lucchesi, and he's got his first out.
And the City Met defense, Vientos, of course, at third base. The struggling McNeil at second base. Alonso's been struggling. Nito behind the plate. Bader back in center field. A good, solid defensive outfield right there.
Beatty sitting tonight against the lefty. We'll see what transpires in coming days. JT Realmuto, for the first time since Saturday, takes a call strike. Realmuto was a hot hitter when he had to sit out for a few days.
It is a misty rain right now.
Appropriate. Both these teams are going to London soon. Why not?
It looks, I'm telling you, Philadelphia, you can't see it. It's like the Victorian London.
Realmuto fouls off the first curve from Lucchesi.
I mean, with all the pitch shaping and everyone trying to figure out a new pitch and sweepers, one of the few pitchers in the history of the game, he has his own pitch, the curve. Part curve, part changeup.
It started out as just a regular changeup. He held the ball back in his hand. And when he was in college, as Realmuto strikes out for the second out, he just started twisting his wrist a little bit on his changeup, and it produced a pitch that nobody else throws.
Well, this time he set him up with that curve and then come back with the fastball. Realmuto was late.
No rotation of the hips. It was completely full.
So 2 out and nobody on for Bryce Harper. Harper sat yesterday with a migraine. He was available to pinch hit late in the game, but the Phillies didn't need him. Went 1 for 5 in the opening game on Monday. He fouls off the first offering from Lucchesi. So the Phillies have come out very aggressively against Lucchesi, who every time he was called upon last year came up and pitched a gem. Remember his first start last year in San Francisco? Mets had been really struggling to get any length out of their starters, and he went 7 scoreless. Taken outside, a ball and a strike.
He wants a new ball. This misty rain, you're probably going to see a lot of that.
Wind is sort of blowing in a little bit to left field, but in. It's
right out of the northeast. Makes it a cool, chilly night. And Harper flies one out to left. Nimmo back on the warning track, looks up, and it's out of here. Bryce Harper with an opposite field home run ties the game. 10th home run of the year for Harper, and it's 1-1.
Well, that is a short left field porch. I'm not taking anything away from Bryce. That's smart hitting. It's only a second home run against left-handers. Little fastball, middle, and he decides he takes it where it's pitched. And that's how strong he is. Lets the ball get deep, hits it up at the plate. I don't know if that gets out of Old Veterans Stadium, Ron.
Been a long time, Keith.
Well, Veterans Stadium's a long ways away from here. I would say no.
How about Connie Mack Stadium?
No, I don't know anything about Connie.
That was the ballpark before Veterans
I understand.
Stadium.
Then there was another park before that.
Shibe Park.
Well, Shibe Park and Connie Mack were the same place.
Oh,
the
really?
The Baker Bowl.
The Baker Bowl, right.
Back in the 20s. Swing and a miss at a curve, and Bohm is down to the count 1-2.
Good. Bohm has really come into his own as a player. Got beat there.
Bohm starts the night 5th in the National League in batting, 3rd in RBIs, top 10 in both on base and slugging. Having a great start. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nick Castellanos would be next. Lucchesi at Syracuse this year, 2-1, 2.58 ERA, gave up only 2 home runs in his 7 starts. His walks were up a little bit, and he's come out throwing strikes tonight. He's got a unique pitch, but he's also got a unique delivery.
He does, yeah. There's lots of arms and legs, herky-jerky, pitches from the first base side of the rubber.
He is very unconventional, let's just put it that way. It's difficult for a hitter to pick up.
And he misses away with the sinker for ball 4. So Bohm extends the inning with a 2-out walk. That pitchers have walked more batters than any staff in the major leagues. And remarkably, they're only 4th in the league in ERA. You would expect with all those walks that they would have struggled even more with their pitching. But lately it's been rough for the starters, particularly. Over the last 21 games, Mets starters are 2-10 with a 5.13 ERA. There's Castellanos, and he flies 1 foul.
Yeah, there's no surprise right there. Castellanos, first ball hitter, doesn't matter what. 50% of first pitches so far this year. He is hacking. 2nd
highest first pitch swing rate in the major leagues.
How many times in your first at bat of a game, Keith, did you swing at the first pitch?
Maybe 5% of my career. Only when I was red hot.
It's just below the knees, a ball and a strike. Castellanos also has one of the highest chase rates in the majors, although that rate has been coming down lately as he has picked it up. It's had a good couple of weeks after a very rough start. And yanks that 1 foul.
He's an interesting hitter. What happens to him, he's so streaky that he'll have these high chase marks for a period of time, and then he's red hot and he doesn't miss a thing. So in between there, that average is the kind of hitter he is.
And 2 mirror images of hitting style. Castellanos and J.D. Martinez. Very similar style of hitting, similar swing.
That was awkward. The way Bohm went into the bag and the way Alonso tagged him.
Remember, on a misty night like this, the bags are going to be very, very slippery.
1-2 coming to Castellanos. He lifts one foul, and the ball running in on his hands. Thinking back with Casey, for all the deception and for all the chirps, he's mostly just a fastball pitcher.
Yeah.
He throws his fastball about 75% of the time. Mm-hmm. 1-2 coming, and that's lifted to center field. Should be easy for Bader, looking through the raindrops. And that retires the side. Harper's home run ties the game 1-1 after 1. Mets president of baseball operations David Stearns joins the show to discuss a potential 6-man starting rotation on the latest episode of the Mets Pod, presented by Tri-State Cadillac. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Mm-hmm. Suarez. Sorry, Gary. I stepped on you again. Look at those white shoes.
They're getting less white by the moment.
High tops.
A lot of grass. A lot of mud.
And that swoosh.
Swoosh. Bader pops one up behind the plate. Coming back, Real Muto sheds the mask and just misses. Well, just landed behind the screen.
The wind pushed that into the stands.
I don't know if it went over the net or through. I'm not sure.
I don't think JT's sure either.
Holds they let go of the mask the last second.
No, it just disappeared.
I think it was on the other side. Bader, McNeil, and Nito are the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Mets today. Mets got just one run despite the error by Rojas in center field and a couple of shots off the bats of Martinez and Marte. And the fastball inside to Bader, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Purpose pitch, Ronnie.
Set up sinker or changeup away.
We'll find out.
Ground ball toward the middle and mishandled by Sosa, and Bader's safe at first. Would have been a close play had he handled it cleanly. So Bader's got an infield hit. Jeff McNeil coming up.
It's got to be a base hit. Jeff really struggling. And this is a Monday game, and watch Jeff, they're just pounding him in. Watch his shoulder angle. He drops the back shoulder, and thus the bat follows the angle. They just constantly pounding him in. Plus, he's chasing that pitch inside right there. And that ball was another 6 inches inside. You can't hit a pitch that's a foot inside. All you can do is pull it foul. And he's just having a really, really hard time. And I think that things are probably speeding up for him. Obviously, he feels terrible at the plate. The month of May, he's hitting 190.
Is it too simple to say he should just lay off the inside pitch?
You work on your. When you struggle, you tend to start too quick and you chase. But this has been consistent, and do I need to move off the plate maybe? I know I had to make an adjustment early in my career when I got sent down to AAA, and they pounded my paddle inside. And Ken Boyer pulled me in the office, said, "But what's giving you trouble?" I told him. He said, "Well, why don't you move off the plate, but still control as far as you can, but still command the outside corner." Now, what that did, Gary, for me, it was 6 inches, maybe a little more off the plate, and therefore that 6 inches or 7 inches now, I had to adjust my strike zone, learn a whole strike zone inside, which I did in BP. He's on top of the plate. But it's just right now, Jeff, he's always had that little movement to first base in his swing, like Ichiro to a small degree. But he's just chasing bad inside, and he's really dropping the back shoulder.
Chops one to second base. Stott with a little flip, and then dropped by Sosa on the transfer, so that's an out. 4-6 on the fielder's choice. Bader retired, and McNeil at first with one away.
We're going to see a lot of this. The conditions are getting worse as the game is going on. You're going to see a lot of sloppiness out there.
I mean, that was one that Stott certainly could have avoided the flip.
It was a play that if he avoided the flip and stepped on the back, he wouldn't have enough time either. So
here's Tomas Nido. After Omar Narvaez started yesterday, Nido has gotten the bulk of the playing time, starting for the 8th time in the last 11 games.
Got to be careful. Ranger has a very good move to first, one of the best fielding pitchers in the game.
And Nido looking to try and bunt his way on with Bohm playing back at third. He came charging hard on the side of the bunt. It's amazing to me that Ranger Suarez has not yet won a Gold Glove. I would think that if he stays in the rotation all year this year, he's got to win one. Because I think everybody who watches the game feels as though he's the best fielding pitcher in the game.
In 2022, he was +9 defensive runs saved as a pitcher. +9.
Last year, he began the year on the injured list. He had some forearm issues in spring training, and then he was in the bullpen when the year began. So he didn't have a full year of starts. This year in the rotation from day one, and he's been spectacular. And he goes upstairs to strike out Nido for the second out.
He went upstairs there on purpose. He knows how to pitch. Head in the count. See if they fish.
You might only see 5 to 6 pitches that Suarez throws up in the strike zone, but he makes them effective.
Here's Nimmo, whose fly ball was dropped in center field by Rojas. That is very close to being a balk move.
He almost didn't. I thought he didn't step over to first enough.
Nimmo just 3 for 17 against Ranger Suarez. And takes the changeup down. Those are some spectacular numbers. You know, the Phillies starters have thrown more innings than any staff in baseball, and you expect that from Wheeler and from Nola. I don't think he necessarily expected it from Suarez, but he's been able to keep his pitch counts down because he doesn't walk anybody, and that's enabled him to go deeper into games.
They've pitched more innings, and their ERA as a starting staff is 2.65.
Only the Red Sox have done better. It's been a luxury for Rob Thompson as his team has gotten off to a great start. Nimmo just got out of the way. 2 balls and a strike. The Phillies are 17 games over 500. First team to reach 30 victories this year. First time that's happened since 1976.
They're on a pace to win 113 games.
Well, let's not get carried away.
I'm just pointing out the math, Gary.
He had Nimmo down to a knee with that changeup, and it's 2-2.
And that is the big change in the game today. A lefty against a lefty, throwing the changeup righty-righty. It's a very effective pitch. Not too many guys did that in my day when I hit. Thank goodness. It would have been trouble in River City.
Maybe you would have hit a few more bombs.
Well, I don't know about that. We'll never know, Bill.
Sosa positioned perfectly, takes it himself for the force play, and that retires the side. Leadoff hit and 1 left, 1-1 in the second. Just when you thought it was safe to go out in the elements, this blowing rain arrives arrived. Looks like it's going to stay with us for a while. So the umpires get the waterproof gear.
Yeah, golfers have their rain gear in their bags. So back to the clubhouse.
So do fishermen.
There you go.
Bryson Stott leads off in the home second. And takes the sinker for a strike from Lucchesi. Stott has continued to rake, 3 for 6 in the 2 games in New York.
Big home run.
For the last 13 games, his OPS is 1361. And a home run on Monday against Edwin Diaz.
He's got their comeback going right there. It was a shocker.
He made it a 1-run game. Diaz would hit Bohm with the bases loaded to tie it, and the Phillies won it in the 10th. And then Nola shut the Mets out yesterday. Scherzer was fouled off. It's 1-2. Edmundo Sosa on deck, and then Christian Pache against Lucchesi. He made 9 starts for the Mets last year. He was 4-0 with a 2.89 ERA. Then he came to camp this year, and it looked like he'd lost about 30 pounds. I mean, he was just as skinny as you can possibly imagine. And it changed his mechanics a little bit, and he had to work harder during the spring to get himself ready to go, which is why he really was never much of a factor as far as making the opening day rotation.
Mechanics, and he went to the 3-egg omelet over the 2-egg omelet. That was the key.
He still is a much skinnier version of himself than he was even last year. 2 coming to Stott. This is down with the curve, and it's 2-2. That squeegee's going.
Well, they never did that for us.
Aren't they supposed to have drains
really
that take care of that?
Yeah.
Sunflower seeds are in there. Gum.
You saying they need a little Drano?
Yeah.
Bouncing ball for Alonso. He's going to race Stott to the bag, and he just gets there in time. He wasn't sure if Lucchesi was going to get there, and so Pete opted to take it himself and made the dive and got there a shade ahead of Stott.
Remember, in this last week, Pete tried to throw the ball to Sean Manaea, who didn't get there in time or was a little late. This time he just decided to do it on his own.
Well,
wearing the Citizens Bank Park dirt as a badge.
Polar bear to pig pen.
One out and nobody on now with Edmundo Sosa, who's hitting .360 against lefties this year, .311 overall.
He got a couple hits to the opposite field the 2 games. I played in the first game of the series off the left-handers, both down the right field line, won a double.
And he gets under this one, pops it up to shallow left center. Lindor calling all the way. And there are 2 out. Well, Casey coming right at them. He's thrown first pitch strikes to 6 of the first 7 hitters, and very similar to what we saw when Joey came up last year.
Yeah, he only had that 1 hiccup to walk to Bohm, but he was ahead of him as well.
So 2 out and nobody, and now Christian Pache getting his 11th start of the season. First saw him with the Braves, then he went to Oakland. He was part of the Matt Olson deal going from Atlanta to Oakland.
He's always been an outstanding defensive player. They just didn't know if he would hit enough.
He was supposed to be Michael Harris before Michael Harris. Pache takes a letter high strike, 0-1.
That wind has shifted now. It is blowing out to left field and blowing hard.
Woo. Something just flew away. Hope it wasn't important.
Al Snickers.
You're right, because once Al opens the Snickers, it's only a wrapper.
Exactly. Al's our cameraman at home, and he's nice enough to come to Philly with us as well.
Eat Snickers and enjoy his job. Camera 2.
Al and Russ.
Yeah, we feel just like home here with Al and Russ in the booth.
We're kind of becoming like divas. We have to travel with an entourage now.
Notice how that number 2, Al is not number 1.
He's the second best cameraman ever.
How do you figure?
Everyone else is tied for number 1.
Thus, camera 2.
Boy, it is blustery now. This is a night you want to use outfielders and pop-ups. You just 2 hands. Get under the ball as soon as you can.
Lucchesi ahead on Pache, 0-2. And he gets him with a curve. Side retired. Second strikeout for Lucchesi as he gets the Phillies 1-2-3 in the second. Still tied at 1. That's a pretty good Mets outfield. Leon, Tommy, boyhood friends playing together alongside Ron Swoboda, 69 Mets.
That's a pretty good infield.
Your 1980 vintage Phillies.
Hey, Manny Trio was a heck of a second baseman. They could pick it.
I always love these pictures. You know why? Because you got a cameraman saying, hey, stick out your glove like that all together.
Well,
everyone else is happy. What's wrong with you?
He's smiling. You just can't see him under the mustache.
That's right. There we go.
Boy, those 3.
2008 vintage Phillies.
So good.
2015 Mets. Mets and Phillies have played baseball against each other since 1962. John Olerud has the best OPS of any Met against the Phillies. Tom Seaver the most wins. John Franco the most saves. David Wright the most home runs and RBIs. And that guy, the most raindrops keep falling on his head.
Talk about pneumonia.
That's a mop.
He'll get moppier. Needs the ringer that goes with the mop. Pete Alonso lays off in the third against Ranger Suarez. He took a call third strike his first time up. And Pete drives one out to left field. Back goes Pache, and it's off the wall. Pete will take a turn at first. He's going to try for second, and the throw gets by Scott. It's going to roll into foul territory, and Alonso will go all the way to third. So Alonso aggressively challenging Pache, who would have had him with a good throw, but the throw was wide, got by Stott, and Alonso winds up with a double and takes third on the error.
Well, goes down and gets this change up. And you're right, Gary. Good throw, perfect throw on line. They nail Pete. And Harper's inexperience at first base. He's backing up. There's no way that ball should have rolled to the dugout.
So the Mets have the go-ahead run at third with nobody out. The infield back for Francisco Lindor, and he takes a strike. Lindor was hit by a pitch his first time up. You can see the infield starting to get shiny around first and third base. That's always a sign that it's taking too much water. And Suarez misses low and in, a ball and a strike. Well, the defense has been shaky by the Phillies early on. Their second outfield error. Rojas dropped a fly ball in the first. Now the throwing error by Pache. And the curveball misses low and in, 2-1.
A little in between hops, always a tough one.
Well, he was thinking about trying to snag that ball on a hop and then turning to find Alonso. And there was just too much to do. And that curveball misses down, and now Suarez, who doesn't walk many, is behind on Lindor, 3-1.
His body language, though, he's showing you he's not comfortable with the mound, not happy with the feel.
The grounds crew was out between innings before Suarez took the mound for the third to throw some diamond dry on the mound and around the home plate area. And Lindor takes fastball first. Strike at the knees, 3-2. J.D. Martinez waiting on deck.
He likes to come inside with the fastball when he needs a strikeout. Get you looking.
Struck out 9 in his last start against the Marlins. And he misses low and inside for ball 4. And so Lindor is on for the second time. First walk given up by Suarez. And the Mets have runners at the corners with nobody out for J.D. Martinez. Did I read that in the 9 strikeouts against the Marlins, he had 7 call third strikes?
Yes, and the first one of this game against Pete was looking as well. He is great at setting up hitters. He's great in many ways.
That's looking to regain the lead with Martinez, who had a shot to short that Sosa was able to snag and get a force play on in the first inning. There goes Lindor, and it gets away from Realmuto, and here comes Alonso to score the go-ahead run. Lindor in motion, ball mishandled by Realmuto, and the Mets lead it 2-1.
Well, the Phillies haven't woken up. Well, that's going to be a wild pitch. Realmuto was coming up to make the throw out Lindor, but Lindor got a great jump.
So it's a stolen base for Lindor, a wild pitch to score the run. JD takes a big hack and fouls one back.
I mean, no one has more respect for JT than I do, but if a guy's on third, you can't try to pick it and throw the guy out at second base. You've got to block that ball.
Still nobody out, and that one runs inside, a cutter from Suarez, and it's 2-1.
And you are right, Ronnie. Suarez is really the body language.
Yeah.
He's out of his rhythm right now. Combination of bad support and the weather.
This is a guy who threw 32 consecutive scoreless innings in April, and thus was named National League Pitcher of the Month. May's gone pretty well also. And a half swing on the curve, and JD did not swing, and it's 3-1.
Not always 75 and sunny. You know, sometimes you got to be a mutter.
And Martinez hits one to short, backhanded by Sosa. The throw on a hop. Nice bounce for Harper, and that's the first out.
Gave him intentionally gave the long hop, which can be a little dicey with a wet field, with the wet grass. The ball tends to scoot.
Some balls hit hard early against Ranger Suarez.
I mean, he was fortunate in the first inning, only 1 run scored. Martinez and Marte both hit the ball very hard. So did Vientos, who drove in the first run with a double, and that one in the dirt blocked by Realmuto.
Well, he wasn't going to give Vientos the first ball fastball. He burned him the first at bat with that RBI double, first pitch fastball. That was a change.
Vientos has now had 4 big league at bats this year, 8 big league at bats, 4 hits, including a home run and a double. He played 31 games in AAA this year, hit .285, 6 home runs. Fouls off the fastball from Suarez, 1-2. With Vientos coming up and Joey Wendell being designated for assignment, it leaves the Mets without a backup middle infielder, which is an odd piece of roster construction as Vientos strikes out on the curveball for the second out. Third strikeout for Suarez. For the moment, Brett Beatty is the backup second baseman and shortstop, but those are not positions that he is equipped to play. So at some point, the Mets are going to have to make a move. Can't play McNeil and Lindor every day of the season.
But they play almost every day of the season. But I know what you're talking about. It's always, I mean, there's a reason why you have an infielder on the bench.
Kevin Cotham coming out to give Suarez a blow. The Mets have Jose Iglesias in AAA. Iglesias was in spring training. He's a very gifted fielder in terms of his hands. Doesn't have great range at this point in his career, but he would be an ideal backup infield.
I honestly thought he was going to make the team out of spring training. I know that Joey Wendell had the contract, but I've always liked Iglesias. He's just he's a pro.
Well, especially since they kept Zach Short.
That's right.
And because, you know, eventually they had to DFA Short, but have Iglesias in reserve.
I think that's a meeting for Caleb Cotham, not only to talk about mechanics, to give a blow also to Ranger Suarez, and to discuss Marte, Bader behind him.
Marte hit a 104-mile-an-hour bullet that Bohm caught his first time up. That saved a couple of runs. And he takes a changeup down for ball one.
I think you're absolutely right, Ron. He's going to pitch very carefully to Marte.
Lindor at second with 2 down, and the curveball bounced toward third, a foul ball. 1-1. See what happened with Ron Washington last night?
I did. Yeah,
I was shocked.
Is our good friend Guillorme involved in that?
6-6 game. Washington calls for a suicide squeeze. Pitches way outside. Guillorme can't get the bunt down. Lindor stealing third, and he'll make it without a throw. So Lindor, after stealing second, steals third. That's his 6th of the year, and it's 2-1 to Marte. And after the game, Ron Washington was asked about the squeeze bunt. He said, "It wasn't anything I did wrong. He didn't do the job."
But why would he want to say that?
I don't know. And now Marte thinking about trying to bunt to get a run in, but this is the curveball, and it's 2-2. I mean, it's been a rough year for the Angels. They're 15-28, and maybe it's just getting to it. This is unlike Watch to throw a player under the bus like that.
Well, 2 days earlier, he tried to have Mickey Moniak bunt, and he bunted into a double play. So, I don't know. He's feeling the heat, right?
Well, Guillorme couldn't get the bunt down. Another former Met is thriving with the Angels. See, Kevin Pillar drove in another run last night. That's 13 RBIs for Pillar in his last 6 games.
And hitting for power as well.
3-2 to Marte. Harrison Bader would be next. Lindor at third with 2 out. And Marte pulls that curveball foul. So a lot of breaking stuff this at bat.
Ranger usually reads that. Curveball pulled foul by Marte. Usually is followed by a fastball in paint.
7th pitch of the at-bat to Starling. And he walked him. That's the 2nd walk for Suarez tonight. That's about a week's worth for him. He had only walked 8 batters in 54 innings coming in, 1.3 walks per 9, the best in the league. But 2 walks in this inning.
He's got the hitters where he wants. He just can't execute that pitch inside yet.
So now Bader, who had an infield hit his first time up. Suarez checks in on Marte.
Got to make him step a little bit. I mean, that's not even close.
Every once in a while, they'll crack down on the lefties.
Very rarely, though.
And then it all goes away again.
Well, it should be a good time for Bader this next week. You're going to face a lot of left-handers. His slug versus left-handers is a couple 100 points higher.
I'm just
chased by Harper, and he'll make it to the seats.
I'm just wondering if Carlos Mendoza is going to give Taylor a little more playing time. And you got great defense from Bader in center field. I mean, he's an exceptional center fielder defensively.
With 2 to Bader, there goes Marte, and it's hit to center field. Rojas this time still uses one hand, but this time he catches it to end the inning. Mets add a run and lead 2-1. Coors Light is offering Mets fans a chance to win tickets to the Coors Light Silver Seats at Citi Field. Visit SNY Facebook or Twitter handles and enter your best Mets fan cave photos. The 6 best fan caves will win 4 tickets to the Coors Light Silver Seats for select games. Entry ends June 15th. Johan Rojas leads off the home third for the Phillies against Joey Lucchesi, who pours in another first pitch strike. That's 8 of the first 9 hitters Lucchesi has thrown a first pitch strike. Rojas 1 for 7 in the 2 games in New York. Batting ninth in the order, Schwarber and Realmuto to follow. And trying to bunt his way on. Lucchesi, though, quickly off the mound and throws him out, 1 away. This has been a very odd game.
It sure has.
I mean, the weather probably has something to do with it. But these first 3 innings feel like, no,
Feels
feel like we're in a fog.
Yeah, it's got a little spring training feel to it, doesn't it?
We are in a fog.
Velvet fog?
Mil Torme?
Yes.
He hated that.
He hated that name.
That was Arthur Godfrey said that on radio. For our older fans.
No,
well,
oldest fan.
Our almost are happy that they're still with us fans.
Are you happy I'm still with you?
Absolutely, Keith. What would we ever do without you? Now Schwarber grounded out his first time up. Schwarber has those backward splits this year. He has crushed lefties. Has had trouble against the righties. Go figure. Curve low and outside. 2 balls and a strike. I wonder how many more baseballs they go through on a day like this compared to a drive day. Although it seems as though every ball that goes in the dirt gets taken out of play anyway. Hit toward the hole, and that'll go through for a base hit. There isn't much of a gap between Vientos and Lindor, but Schwarber found it, and he's got the second Philadelphia hit.
Oh, you wouldn't think of Schwarber as a guy who would go the opposite field.
Kind of caught that off the end. Willie Keeler hit, right? They had him defensed properly. He's found a hole.
I don't think anybody has ever compared Kyle Schwarber and Willie Keeler before. When Schwarber hits them where they ain't, it's because there are empty seats in right field. Muto fouls back on Sherb, 0-1.
That's good, Gary.
Well, believe it or not, Schwarber's got 2 stolen pillows this year so far. Caught once.
You know, he used to be an outfielder.
He is really trimmed down this year. That's the thinnest that I've seen him, and that's not thin. He's built like a fire hydrant.
So far, Realmuto has looked like a guy who hasn't played in a few days. Had a rough at bat. Had a rough time trying to stop a ball where he was victimized by a wild pitch that gave the Mets the go-ahead run.
Interesting. Realmuto
slams this one to right center, cutting across Marte, and he makes the grab. And Schwarber hustling back to first as Marte throws in behind him. 2 out.
Well, that's when Realmuto's right. You have to take that right center field gap away from him. When he's swinging the bat good, he drives that ball in that area. So hang with him.
Very good for the expected slugging percentage, not so good for the actual. Here's Bryce Harper, who homered for the Phillies run.
I always think when we get a shot of that hitter who's made a tough out and he makes that face before he goes to the dugout, I bet you it's the same face they made when they were 10 years old in Little League. It hasn't changed.
Except in Little League, they never made it out.
That's right.
Harper grounds one down to Alonso. He goes to second, forgetting how many out there were, and that retires the side. He thought there was only 1 out, but there were 2. And now there are 3. No double play required. 2-1 New York after 3. There have been some pretty good players play for both of these teams. Richie Ashburn, who was the 62 Mets MVP after having more hits in the 50s than anybody else in baseball. Kuzman, who went to the Phillies after his Mets career. Number retired in New York, not in Philadelphia.
Tugger, of course.
Doug McGraw won World Series with both teams. Got Willie Wilson for the final out in 1980.
Buddy.
Hard to believe Buddy actually became a Philly.
Oh, well. Sid, I forgot about Sid going to the Phils.
Sidney.
And Billy Wagner, a Philly before he was a Met. He's the guy who got them to switch the bullpens.
That's right.
When they built Citizens Bank Park. They originally had the Phillies bullpen on top. He said, no. Fans are not throwing things into our bullpen. Let them throw them into the visitors' bullpen. Phillies have been around since 1883.
Wow. The senior circuit.
A lot of Quakers found home here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
When they first emigrated over.
Had to toe the line over those Quakers.
Didn't win their first title until 1980.
A peaceful people.
Well, some of them were peaceful. I mean, at Veterans Stadium, you know, they had the courtroom in the basement for all the miscreants at the Eagles games. And Piazza, who grew up not far from here.
It's good to see everybody getting along. Look at that.
Mike never had that. Like, there's a very distinct accent I find here. That guy never had that accent, did he?
That guy's got a lot of autographs on that jersey.
I hope it doesn't get wet and spoil the autographs. That's the chosen outerwear today. Green slicker coming in handy. Even the portable poncho. Jeff McNeil leads off in the fourth inning and takes a strike from Ranger Suarez, who's really been off his game. That's only his 7th first pitch strike to his first 17 batters. It is very un-Ranger-like. And McNeil strokes one out to left, and Pache comes in a few strides. Wind grabbed it, and he really had to move with it at the last moment. One out. Wind is blowing in again. And it grabbed that ball and blew it away from Pache. First time tonight that Suarez has retired the leadoff hitter. One out and nobody on. Here's Tomas Nido, who struck out his first time up.
Well, here's that bottom inning with the bottom half of the order, huh, Ron? You always mention.
Yep.
Bohm snags it out to the side and throws on Nido. 3 pitches and 2 outs for Suarez to start the fourth. Well, he's starting pitching. He's thrown the most innings and has the best ERA of any staff in the National League.
Taijuan Walker just gotten into the rotation. Spencer Turnbull did a great job while he was in there.
Turnbull's now working out of the bullpen for the Phils. Third time around for Brandon Nimmo. And Brandon takes a sinker for a strike. Generous call by Brian Knight, the home plate umpire. Nimmo had a fly ball dropped in center field that led to the first Met run. And he hit into a fielder's choice in the second. Both the Mets runs have been unearned against Suarez. Rojas dropped the fly ball in the first. Pache made the throwing error in the third. And that sliced out toward left and right at Pache. So a very quick inning for Suarez. He gets the Mets out on 5 pitches. 2-1 New York in the fourth. Well, a bit of a delay, and crew chief Chris Guccione is telling Lucchesi to hurry up. I think they were expecting the grounds crew to come out and do some more work on the mound and home plate, and that's what Guccione's trying to find out about.
Oh,
I think they want to
redo the
batter's box.
Well, just go without for a half inning. Not necessary. Let's
Batter's
go.
box has been obliterated with the diamond drive that was put down earlier.
Especially you want to play 3 full innings, right? 4 full innings before you.
I mean, Lucchesi came out of the dugout to warm up. They told him to go back.
That's right.
Presumably so that the grounds crew could do some work, but then the grounds crew was nowhere to be seen.
Weren't ready.
You know why? 5-pitch inning.
There you go.
Played too fast. Caught them off guard.
But we like 5-pitch innings.
Well, it was better for Suarez than the 27-pitch inning he had the inning before. But not so good for the grounds crew and their preparation for their time in the sun, so to speak.
The Philadelphia press asked Aaron Nola after yesterday's game if he had ever had a 3-pitch inning. He said he couldn't remember one. And that's after a base hit to start the inning.
Although we did look it up, and there had been 2 other instances this year where the hit and a 3-pitch inning.
I don't know. I don't trust Dave right now. He's very distracted. He's got a lot of NBA on the mind.
Okay.
I hear the Knicks played really well last night.
I didn't watch.
I watched the first half, and I fell asleep. I mean, Brunson, unbelievable. You can't guard him.
All right, here we go. Bottom of the 4th, Alec Bohm drew a walk his first time up. The only walk issued by Lucchesi in the first 3 innings. And this is with the churve for ball 1. Second time that he's thrown Bohm a first pitch churve. Castellanos and Stott to follow. This is not yet an official game. And that's hit out to right center field and deep. Back goes Marte on the warning track to make the catch. On a different night, that's a home run.
Yes.
But with the wind blowing in, Bohm had it knocked down, and Marte had enough room.
Yep, it held it up, Gare, no doubt.
Not gusting in as hard as it was before, but still blowing in just enough. So 1 out now, Castellanos. And that's the 1 out of 2 times that he takes the first pitch.
Well, it was in the dirt.
Well,
A little tough.
there you go.
Well, it's 50-50.
You've never seen somebody swing at a pitch in the dirt?
He's on pace, 50%.
Exactly. Is that where you say it all evens out in the end?
No. Don't you believe it, Gare?
Castellanos fly to center his first time up. One of the rare times Lucchesi has been behind in the count. And he takes one the other way for a base hit. Chased toward the line by Marte. Castellanos takes the turn. He's going to try for 2. And Marte gets it there 10 feet ahead of him. Wow. And Castellanos is a dead duck at second base. Well, Castellanos testing the arm of Starling Marte. The hardest part of the play was Lindor grabbing the hop with the wet ball because Marte's throw was perfect.
Well, it was a poor choice on Castellanos' part here. He had no chance. Watch the final few steps of Marte here. That's the tough part when the wet. He did a nice spin and a perfect throw to Lindor.
I was afraid for a second that Lindor was going to block the base, obstruct an avenue to the base, but he did not.
I think he was aware of it and made sure he didn't.
I think he was starting to block the base and then didn't go through with it.
But once you have the ball, you can block the base. So Marte, who is the Major League's active leader in outfield assists, I think that's 104 now in his career. That's another one. I think he has a belt he puts notches in. Just marks it like Zorro. Stott rolls one for McNeil, and Jeff makes the play, and that retires the side. So Lucchesi with a quick inning through just 8 pitches. 2-1 New York after 4.
And Cabrera hits one deep right field. Back goes Borges near the wall. It's out of here! Out of here! As Drubal Cabrera wins it for New York. A 3-run walk-off home run. On a night of comebacks, as Drubal Cabrera provides the final jump as the Mets leapfrog to a 9-8 victory.
That was a huge win for the Mets in their quest for a wild card in 2016.
Next time he faced that pitcher, the pitcher threw it over his head.
Yep. Oh.
Well, the grounds crew has been out. This time they were fully ready, even after an 8-pitch half inning, and got the batter's box repainted.
Oh, Riamoto just stepped on the line after all that work.
Sort of his job. The 5th inning recap brought to you by Ford. Joe Lucchesi doing what he did last year, coming up and providing the Mets with a solid start. That's with a couple of unearned runs against Ranger Suarez. And they've got a 2-1 lead as we start the 5th. Pete Alonso doubled and scored in the 3rd. And he takes a strike from Suarez. Alonso hitting the 2-hole with Lindor and Martinez behind him. He got jammed and fouled it off. 0-2. Suarez settled in for a better inning in the fourth. 1-2-3 with just 5 pitches thrown after a laborious third inning in which he walked a pair. And the curveball sits high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rangers. They're not hockey fans, are they?
Power Ranger fans.
What is he, a wrestler?
Wrestling fans. That's Power Rangers with that.
I mean, like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? Those Power Rangers?
There you go.
Not your thing, Keith?
No, I
you haven't had kids in a long time.
No, I haven't. Thank goodness.
Bouncing ball past the mound. In comes Stott. Has to make the quick toss and gets Alonso for the first out. So 1 out and nobody on. Francisco Lindor coming up, and stepping into the microphone is Steve Gelbs.
Well, Gary, you've gotten really good at throwing it down to me these last few days. I really enjoy the setup. But, you know, Ranger Suarez, we've talked about it a little bit. He's having such a sensational season, arguably the best pitcher so far in the National League. And I was over on the Phillies side today just talking to guys and trying to figure out what's been different, what's allowed him to take this next step this season. And the biggest thing everybody's pointing to is just that he is consistently attacking the zone. I know you mentioned that his walk rate coming in was just 1.3 walks per 9. That's more than half of what his career average has been. And while it's still an open question as to why exactly he's been so much better with his command, one of the things that people have been talking about is that for the first time he really had a full spring training. He's a guy that has dealt with a lot of issues in spring, whether it's injuries, visa issues that have kind of made his springs disjointed. This year was healthy and there from start to finish, and came into the season really locked in, ready to go, and has carried that through for the first month and a half.
Steve, I'm always working to try and keep up with you.
I don't believe that, but I do appreciate you saying that publicly. I really do.
Steve, when it was raining, were you inside, or were you roughing it down there?
No, I was a little of both. I was outside, but I was right underneath the dugout hangar. So there's a reason why it took me about 5 innings to get on the broadcast. This is the first time I was going to come out of my shell.
Your hair looks good.
And I intend to keep it that way.
Like Werewolf of London.
Guys, by the way, while we were continuing to talk about people that are cool, I know you're trying to make that point about me. That is the other thing that everybody on the Phillies side talks about with Ranger Suarez, even when he hasn't had these types of stretches, that he is the coolest customer as Bohm charges in to make the play. Bohm was actually one of the guys that was lauding Ranger Suarez's demeanor on the mound. He said there are a lot of guys that you see when they get into trouble, things start to speed up on him. And with Suarez, it's almost like he is always throwing batting practice no matter what the situation is. And I think if you look at his career numbers in the postseason especially, it speaks to that. The moment never really seems too big. So during the regular season, he takes those big experiences and doesn't really let anything get to him.
You know, his postseasons for the Phillies the last 2 years have been a little sporadic because he has not been a front of the rotation guy. But when called upon in the postseason, 9 games, 7 starts. Look at those numbers. Only 1.62.
8 walks and 32 strikeouts. If it's a word, he's unfazable.
JD pulls one into left field for a base hit. So Martinez has the Mets' 4th hit of the night, a 2-out single.
The thing about JD Martinez, he can be out in front, but he's so strong and still able to keep that bat back and flip it to left field.
Let's go with one hand a lot.
Now Mark Vientos was after a first pitch changeup, 0-1. Vientos swung at the first pitch he saw in his return to the big leagues and dumped one into the left field corner for a double that drove in the first Met run. And he struck out in the 3rd. Chopper near the bag at second, and Stott makes the step. And that retires the side. Halfway through in Philadelphia, 2-1 New York. Spectrum high-speed hitting, highest team averages against fastballs this year. Houston on top. Hasn't really helped them. They're 8 games under 500. Joey Lucchesi gets first pitch curve over for a strike to Edmundo Sosa. Brewers, Dodgers, Phillies, 4th on the list. And the Phillies have really thrived on hitting breaking balls this year. Best OPS in baseball against the breaking stuff. Does that count the curve? Does the curve count as a breaking ball?
Yes.
That's more changeup, right?
No, it counts.
It counts.
Yeah.
It's a breaking ball.
Because it's a curve.
Yeah, but it's very similar to curve. You just add the H.
But that makes it a changeup curve.
But there's more curved letters in the word.
That's true. I hadn't thought of it that way. Thank you, Ronnie. It's very helpful. Sosa wouldn't chase that one. It's 3-1. Phillies bullpen gets cranking. Spencer Turnbull is up. Ranger Suarez has thrown 83 pitches through 5 innings. And they've been somewhat laborious. And Sosa takes ball 4. So Lucchesi issues his second walk of the day. That's a leadoff walk in the bottom of the 5th in a 1-run game.
I'll tell you from being out there, that is one of those where you personally kick yourself. The leadoff hitter in the 5th inning, 7th place hitter, and you walk him.
Mets made a bullpen move today to bring up Grant Hartwig, and they sent down Johan Ramirez, who pitched the last 2 days. Gives him a little length out of that bullpen. What, at a time violation against Lucchesi. So that'll make the count 1-0. What Carlos Mendoza wasn't sure about was whether he had Adrian Hauser in the bullpen today, because Hauser got hot in the bullpen late in the game yesterday, which is why Lucchesi is here. But he didn't know if Hauser could bounce back from that heavy warm-up to pitch today, considering he's been a starter most of his career. So they needed protection with Hartwig. 2-0 to Pache, who struck out his first time up and looking to bunt. And he takes the pitch low, and now Lucchesi digging some trouble for himself. Walked the number 7 hitter. He's behind the number 8 hitter, 3-0. Johan Rojas on deck. You mentioned Lucchesi's walk numbers were up at Syracuse this year. And there's a strike, 3-1. He was averaging 3.8 walks per 9 innings. Last year in the majors, just 3.3. Lucchesi's pickoff moves have gotten very strange reactions tonight from the base runners. And Pache chases one and fouls it off, 3-2. Johan Rojas, the number 9 hitter on deck. Well, the Cubs finally scored against the Braves. They got 3 off Charlie Morton in the first inning tonight. After the Braves shut him out the last 2 days. Runner does not go, and it's low ball 4, so back-to-back walks by Lucchesi to start the bottom of the 5th. Randy Hefner out for a conversation before he faces Johan Rojas.
I would think the bunt would be on here. Your number 9 hitter.
And that's part of his game, bunting Rojas. So it's a natural. That's Jorge Lopez up. It's like Pavlov's dog. He's just used to getting up. So he's on already.
He's not coming in today. They've
No.
used him way too much.
He's pitched 3 of the last 4 days.
Enjoy no fees on single game tickets to any Mets home game. Offer ends tomorrow. Restrictions apply. Don't miss out. Go to Mets.com/no fees now. Now Johan Rojas tried to bunt his way on his first time up, but bunted it straight back to Lucchesi. Mets playing for the sacrifice now. Alonso well in at first. And Rojas does square and takes a fastball for a strike.
Well, with Pete not holding the runner on, he can crowd the the batter a little more. And incumbent on Rojas to bunt it down that third base line.
And Rojas gets the bunt down. Lucchesi goes to third, and it's too late.
It didn't slide.
Edmundo Sosa stepping into third base, and the Mets will not challenge the call.
How can you not slide into third base? Lucchesi gets off the mound, gets rid of it quick.
I mean, Vientos never really got on the bag. Never touched the bag.
So that'll be scored a sacrifice and a fielder's choice. And it loads the bases with nobody out for Kyle Schwarber.
How can you not slide, young man?
And Schwarber takes fastball down for ball one. Schwarber is grounded out and had a base hit to left center. Grant Hartwig just recalled today up in the Mets bullpen. Casey putting himself in jeopardy with walks. And now falls behind 2-0 to Schwarber with the bases full. Dangerous pitch now for Lucchesi. And now it's 3-0.
Well, boy, do you give Schwarber a hit sign here?
I would not. Not the way the inning's going.
The fact that he's hitting over 300.
I mean, he's.
I don't, I couldn't, either way, I wouldn't second guess one way or the other.
And Schwarber takes ball four, and that forces in the tying run. A four-pitch walk to Schwarber, the third walk of the inning, and this game is tied 2-2.
Walks, walks, walks.
It's been a constant issue for this pitching staff all season.
I mean, this has happened so quickly. Hartwig's not even ready. Lindor's talking to the second base umpire right now about something, and he was motioning to the home plate umpire, timeout for him for a while.
So now JT Realmuto, still nobody out. Bases loaded. This game now tied. Realmuto has struck out and lined out to right. And he attacks the first pitch and lines a base hit into right field. That'll bring in Pache, and the Phillies take the lead. So Realmuto, after the 3 walks in the inning, figured he'd get a first pitch fastball to hit. He did. And he drives in his 16th run of the year to put the Phillies up 3-2.
Well, just smart hitting. You got a pitcher out there. Number one has walked 3 guys, and he's got the bases loaded. He's in trouble. Don't let him get ahead of you with a fastball. And Realmuto does the job. Fastball, I'd say middle away. Yep, right down the middle. No intention to pull and hit a grand slam.
Now Bryce Harper, and he takes a curve up and in for ball one.
Lucchesi's only in this game because of the lefty-lefty matchup, despite giving up a home run to Harper earlier in the game.
Harper's home run went to left field in the first, his 10th of the year. And he drives this one to left center field. That's an extra base hit. Back in the gap. Rojas and Schwarber will score. Here comes Realmuto. The relay to the plate is in plenty of time, and Realmuto is tagged out. But 2 runs come home on the double by Harper, and the Phillies now lead it 5-2.
Realmuto ran through a stop sign, Gare. Third base coach Dusty Walton held him up, and he ran through it. That's hitting the ball right where it's pitched. Into the gap. Second base hit to the opposite field for Harper. Nice play by Nito on a tough hop.
8-6-2 on the play at the plate. But Lucchesi put himself in trouble with walks, and the walks are cashed in. Check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Realmuto trying to score a third run on that play.
Well, here's the base hit to the right field. Third base coach on your left of your screen. Now watch him, both hands holding him up. And I'm sorry.
Fly ball center field off the bat of Bohm. Bader back to the warning track to make the catch. Tagging at second is Harper. He'll go to third. But that's a long second out off the bat of Bohm on the first pitch thrown by Grant Hartwig.
But the last two balls Bohm's hit 0 for 2 on both.
Using the big part of the ballpark. Probably not the thing to do tonight.
Grant Hartwig, this is his 31st appearance in the major leagues. His first 30, 14 of those appearances have been 4 outs or more, probably being asked for the same role in tonight's game.
His last outing for the Mets was at Dodger Stadium April 21st. Joey Lucchesi did a great job for 4, but then lost control of the strike zone in the 5th, and it cost him 3 walks in the inning. All 3 have come home to score. So now Nick Castellanos, the 8th man up in the inning, with 4 runs already home for the Phillies. Parenthetically, this is now an official game, although there is no more rain in the forecast, so that really shouldn't be an issue. Hardwick took Johan Ramirez's spot on the roster. Ramirez was DFA'd today among the flurry of roster moves the Mets made. Castellanos had a base hit to right field, tried to stretch it in the 4th and was thrown out. He pulls this one down to 3rd, and Vientos has it and guns it across in time to end the inning. But the Phillies put up a 4 spot, helped out by 3 walks, and lead it 5-2. Here we're going to the 6th inning. That is not a live shot. The sky is not that clear. Spencer Turnbull out of the bullpen for the Phillies. New role for him.
Yeah, only his 4th relief appearance. His first 70 appearances, 66 have been starts.
Marte is lined out and walked. 0 for 1. Ranger Suarez pulled after 5 innings and 83 pitches. Gave up 2 runs, but both were unearned. So it lowers his ERA from 1.50 to 1.37.
And the kind of year he's having, he's the pitcher of record.
Got him those runs just in time. He was coming out no matter what. That shot foul down the right side, 1-2 to Marte. Suarez gave up 4 hits. He walked 2, struck out 3, hit a batter, threw a wild pitch. It was an uneven outing for him, but he winds up giving up no earned runs. As we're unable to fully cash in against him, they left 6 runners on base in his 5 innings. Redid the batter's box. It's a little scuffed now. They need to do it again. And Turnbull just misses away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The roll age relief stats. Emergency hack by Marte to stay in the at-bat. Marte, then Bader and McNeil for the Mets in the 6th. Spencer Turnbull did a great job filling in the Phillies rotation until Taijuan Walker was ready to go this year. We'll see Walker tomorrow night. He had missed his first month of the season, and Turnbull filled in, and there were a lot of questions about what the Phillies would do. Would they go to a 6-man rotation? But they opted to put Turnbull in the bullpen.
You can't go to a 6-man rotation when you have studs like Wheeler and Nola and Suarez.
Right.
And mean, you can work 6 guys around the rotation.
That's right.
Different with the Mets. When they get Senga back, his preference is to go with the extra day, so that'll work for everybody. Nice punch to the right side, and Stott is right in front of it, and Jose Marte went away. So remember a few years ago when Pete Alonso playing at Target Field in Minneapolis at one of the 3rd deck?
Yeah.
Aaron Judge did that tonight.
He did.
Didn't hit it quite as far as Alonso. But it probably won't shock you that the Yankees are leading the Twins.
They lead the Twins every game.
If you go back their last 162 games since 2002, regular season and postseason, the Yankees against the Twins are 118 and 44.
They own them.
That's the equivalent of the best season that any team has ever had in a
right.
162 game season.
They own them. That goes back to when Ron Gardenhire was managing.
Right.
I mean, it hasn't mattered the last 20-odd years. They just have the Twins' numbers. Regular season, but even more importantly in the postseason.
I remember at one point the last postseason game the Twins had beat the New York Yankees. Johan Santana beat them. That's how long ago it was.
Not only couldn't they beat the Yankees, but the Yankees got the benefit of some egregious umpiring calls in the postseason as well.
Right. The Joe Mauer double that was foul.
Right, that one. That's one of the calls that led almost directly to replay. 1-2 coming to Bader. And he takes a slider out of the strike zone, 2-2.
That and the play at first in Detroit.
Yeah, with the Galarraga non-perfect game. But at least Galarraga and Jim Joyce got a book deal out of it.
Did they?
They wrote a book together.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's called Nobody's Perfect. Breaking ball down to Bader, and it's 3-2. Second straight full count for Turnbull. Turnbull spent his entire career with Detroit before this year. Second round pick by the Tigers out of the University of Alabama. Had some injury issues that really curtailed his last few seasons. And signed as a free agent with the Phillies. Bader hits one on the ground. And Sosa into one-handed. 2 out. So 2 up, 2 ground balls, 2 retired.
Turnbull had some issues early in his career with tipping pitches. So I remember the first guy I ever saw that used to kind of wiggle his glove to disguise any kind of tipping was Ryan Dempster. He used to do that.
Oh, he had the funky.
Yeah, really wiggled it around. Turnbull does the same. When he needs to go to a pitch, it'll be a slider.
Jeff McNeil. And he takes a slider down for ball 1.
So he does just adjusting the baseball really gets that glove pumping.
Ouch.
So I think that's what Keith was talking about when McNeil took his first at bat. Okay, this is a pitch that if he didn't swing and foul it off his body, it would have hit him in his body.
Right.
That's how far inside it was.
He's just really chasing that cutter. That was more of a slider. That's almost a foot inside. And there's not much you can do with it.
Right off the knee.
Off the knee. Oh, solidly too. That's not good. That hurts.
Well, it certainly brings up the question of the Mets' backup middle infield situation. Hopefully Jeff is okay and can continue on in the game.
You're not allowed to be hurt, at least tonight.
Brett Beatty is cringing right now at the thought of going out on the field with a second baseman's glove.
You know, we're down in the clubhouse before the games, and sometimes we're privy to stuff that you don't usually see. And McNeil, before we went to speak to Carlos Mendoza, was in Carlos's office. Again, the replay. Ooh. And he came out of there and he said, let's go get him. I mean, he was kind of fired up. So Mendoza had talked to him. Not fired up now.
And now just trying to survive the at-bat. Talking to Ray Amuto, who can certainly relate.
Commiserate.
He's been dealing with a knee injury of his own. It's kept him out the last few days. And Beatty on call.
He might
bat for Nito.
He's gonna. That's what he's there for.
1-1 to McNeil. It's 2 out and nobody on, but if Jeff gets an extra base hit, you'd love to have Beatty's left-handed bat up there against Turnbull, trying to get the run in. And McNeil strokes one down to first. Nice diving stop by Harper, and he gets it over to Turnbull to retire the side. 3 ground ball outs for Turnbull, helped out by some wizardry by Harper at first base.
That's
home 6th inning, 5-2 Philadelphia. Grant Hartwig continues on, and he drills Bryson Stott with the first pitch in the bottom of the 6th. So after McNeil went down in a heap after fouling a ball off his knee, now Stott takes a shot. It's a bad night to be a second baseman. Painful.
Well, he got that. Oh, hit him on the inner thigh. On the back of the thigh. Oh, that hurts. That's a soft spot. Tender. Oh. That's not good.
That's one of those that tomorrow you come to the ballpark and you're black and blue.
Exactly.
Sort of like being a catcher.
Well, let's see if he tries to steal a pillow. We got 10 stolen bases on the year.
I don't think he's going anywhere right now.
Oh, you can always get even.
Edmundo Sosa got the whole thing started for the Phillies in the 5th with a leadoff walk. Casey walked 3 of the first 4 batters in the inning, and the Phillies were able to cash them all in. And Sosa takes one the other way for a base hit. Stott will go first to third, and the Phillies have something working here in the 6th. Sosa continues to swing the bat well. Now 3 for 5 in this home-and-home series.
All 3 hits down, really down the right field line. Off the end of the bat.
Sosa now 11 for 27 since he's come up to take Trey Turner's place at shortstop.
So Hartwig, who got 2 outs in the 5th. A rough start to the 6th. He hits Stott with his first pitch, and Sosa gets a base hit on his 3rd. And now Christian Pache with an RBI chance. Vientos in tight at 3rd, and Pache takes fastball down for ball 1. Pache drew a walk in that 4-run 5th inning. Hartwig bends one low, 2 balls, no strikes. Joey Lucchesi went 4 1/3. The first 4 went well, the next 3rd not so good. He gave up 5 runs, 5 hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, a home run, 69 pitches. Up foul, Alonso giving chase, but that'll be in the crowd. City probables for tomorrow night's game. Jose Quintana for the Mets. The former Met Taijuan Walker goes for the Phils. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock. Another 6:40 first pitch here in Philadelphia. Everybody seems puzzled why the Phillies are not playing a day game tomorrow. But they're not. And to be traveling to Miami after the game. Fastball at the knees for a strike to Pache, and it's 2-2. This is the first stop on a 3-city road trip for the Mets. 2 here, 3 in Miami, then 3 in Cleveland early next week. And the slider off the plate, and it's a full count.
We'll have to brush up on our Josh Naylor numbers. He's been outstanding.
The Naylor brothers have been doing some bashing, Josh and Bo. Stephen Kwan, though, is out. He was doing wonderfully before he got hurt. 3-2, nobody out. Sosa not going, and it's flared down the right field line, foul. Cleveland is sitting atop the American League Central at 27-16.
And the opposite, when you guys go to Miami, they're already 20 under.
Oof. But they won today. They got 5 scoreless innings from Trevor Rogers and shut out the Tigers 2-0. 3-2. Bouncing ball toward the hole, off the glove of Vientos. Fires to first in time to get the out. It would have been a double play had he fielded it cleanly. He gets the 5-3 putout. Stott comes in to score, and the Phillies now lead 6-2.
Going to his left, it just popped out of his glove, and that enables Pache to get an RBI. It's a little snow cone there.
And the run was going to score either way, but this way you got a runner at second with 1 out. And Rojas the batter, and he takes a wild swing at a slider, 0-1. And another one. Slider off the plate that Rojas chases, and it's 0-2. Kyle Schwarber, the on-deck batter. Mets 2 runs, 4 hits. The Phillies 6 runs and 6 hits. Mets have twice had the lead in this game, but the Phillies with 4 in the 5th and 1 in the 6th to take charge. Trying to beat the Mets for the 3rd straight day. Last year, the Phillies won 7 of 13 from the Mets, but the Mets lost 6 out of 7 in this ballpark. And that slider's popped up into shallow center. Bader coming on. And he puts it away for the 2nd out, and Sosa holds at second, 2 out. Now Kyle Schwarber. Returned to the lineup yesterday after sitting out a couple of days with a bad back. Got on base 3 times, and he's already been aboard twice in this game, including a bases loaded walk his last time up. And Hardwick misses inside with the fastball, ball 1.
You know, a 6-2 ball game, you could give a pass to Schwarber, but Schwarber's hitting 141 against right-handers. Go figure.
And he hits it sharply, and McNeil lays out to get it and hurries the throw to first and gets away, and coming in to score is Sosa. What an ugly game this has been on both sides. McNeil did not have to rush that much with Schwarber running, but he hurried the throw and bounced it past Alonso, and that enables Sosa to score to make it 7-2.
I mean, technically, is this going to be an error? But they can't give Schwarber a hit. They probably might give him a home book. He's out by a mile.
They're giving him a hit.
It'd be a hit and an error.
And then an error allowing the run to score.
Yep.
So it's the first error charged to the Mets. The Phillies have been charged with 2, but there's been all sorts of sloppiness on both sides commensurate with the field conditions. Just don't understand the haste with which McNeil got rid of that ball, knowing that Schwarber was running. Well, Muto pops one up, and McNeil will take charge of that, and that ends the inning. Phillies cash 2 more and lead 7-2. We go to the 7th, 7-2 Philadelphia. Let's go back to that last play with McNeil throwing the ball past Alonso that brought in the last Philadelphia run.
Well, there's a couple things here that went haywire. Now, here's the throw. And Pete, I've been in his boots where you think you can stretch and make the play, but you've got to know the speed of the runner when you're running to the base. I know that Pete gets to the bag. He's looking at the second baseman. So now you're looking here and the runner's behind you. So as you come to the bag, you got to see where that runner is, and then you can make a judgment. I come off the bag. Now, another thing, too, is the runner's on second base. If you come off the bag, the runner doesn't score. So several things, a couple of things got involved in that play.
Tomas Nido will lead off in the 7th against Spencer Turnbull, who begins his second inning of relief, and he spins one in for a strike.
And then it seemed like because of the dive, it sped up the clock of McNeil, and he just kind of miscalculated with this wet track how Schwarber would get down the line.
I mean, he had enough time to fully stand up and make a throw as opposed to trying to flop and hurry it over to the bag.
Maybe just felt a little bit of that knee after hitting that ball off it or something. You know what I mean?
Yep. Nido has struck out and grounded out 0 for 2. And he hits one up the middle for a base hit. So Nido has the Mets' 5th hit of the night. A leadoff single in the 7th.
Little cutter, slider away, right up the middle. Nido. He likes that ball out over the plate.
So now Brandon Nimmo has gone 0 for 3 today, 0 for 11 now in these 3 games against the Phillies. First time facing Turnbull, and he takes low and inside for ball 1. Ranger Suarez went the first 5, allowed 2 unearned runs. Phillies bullpen has been good enough. The numbers haven't been spectacular, but they've been able to hold their leads. And a curveball low and in. 2-0. Alonso waiting on deck. Alonso hitting second in the order for just the second time this year. Adrian Hauser, who was up in the bullpen yesterday and got warm enough that the Mets scratched him from his start tonight, is now getting ready in the Mets bullpen. And Turnbull misses away and falls behind 3-0.
Nope. 5-run lead. Can't walk people.
You know how in the minor leagues in the spring training they have the dirtiest car in the lot routine? As ball 4 and Nimmo's on with a walk. Well, Pete's got the dirtiest uniform in the building tonight. I think he's won that award hands down.
And he got it early.
He did. He earned it. He's also had a double and scored a run tonight, 1 for 3. And that's with a chance to get back in this game with the first 2 men on in the 7th. Alonso at the plate, Lindor on deck. And Pete takes first pitch slider for a strike, 0-1.
I just feel like with Turnbull, if you're a right-handed hitter, that boy, almost every pitch is going to be middle of the plate away. He doesn't come in a lot.
Nido at second, Nimmo at first with nobody out. And another breaking ball, misses low. Ball and a strike.
Spencer Turnbull pitches a lot like their radio analyst for the Philadelphia Phillies, Larry Anderson. Lots of cutters and sliders, and stays with that pitch in LA's day.
Bouncing ball down to third. Bohm cross body to second. Stott to first. Not in time. Pete really hustled down the line to prevent the double play.
Boy, I tell you, Stott got rid of that ball quickly, too, and with a strong throw.
I thought they had him at first, personally, from up here.
I thought he beat it.
Phillies are going to challenge the call.
Good throw. Look at the turn right there. That was quick. Oh, they may have got him.
Phillies are challenging.
Philadelphia is challenging the safe call at first base.
helpless feeling for a hitter when you hit that ground ball. You're like, you know they're turning 2 on you.
You don't want to hit into a double play.
Play under review brought to you by Citizens. Let's see if we can slow it down and see.
Let's see the stretch by Harper. Nothing wrong with that stretch. I think it's a tie base.
It looked very simultaneous from that angle. Let's see from this one. Yeah, I'd have to say that's going to be a hard one to overturn. I mean, if the call on the field was out, it might be sustained. But I have a feeling this one might stand.
I'm with you. I think it's because he was called safe, he's going to be safe.
I think
that angle seems to.
I think they're going to overturn it.
Yeah.
That one seems to show he's out.
Okay.
So we'll find out.
James Hoy and Lance Barksdale are the crew chiefs in the replay center in New York.
That's as close as it can get.
I'm looking at one on the board that they had a second base camera or left field camera, really as close as you can get.
So the Mets will either have first and third and 1 out, or they'll have a runner at third with 2 out.
After review the call on the field, it is overturned. The runner is out.
So it's a 5-4-3 double play.
Well, it's about when the ball is not in the glove, Gary, right?
And it has to make contact with something in the interior of the glove.
And that was the difference right there.
I still don't believe it. I would have kept the call. But
so 2 out, Nito at third, and Francisco Lindor the batter. Lindor's been on base twice, hit batsman on a walk. He's stolen 2 bases, otherwise 0 for 1. So an inning that began promisingly gets short-circuited by a double play. Turnbull's been very successful at getting the Mets to hit the ball on the ground. All of his outs have come on ground balls.
Even Nito's base hit was a ground ball up the middle.
He certainly did his level best to beat that out. He was digging.
Well, here it is right here. Stott. The quick throw from Bohm. Watch this turn. Out of the glove. And throws with some mustard on it. He knew he had to.
Occasionally you have a second baseman with a shortstop's arm.
When he first came up, he played shortstop before they got Trey Turner. And he's been filling in some at short over the last couple of weeks.
Stott's a nice player, let me tell you. He's a nice player. Can run, good glove.
Seems hard-nosed. We don't get to see him play every day.
Yep.
That's what it feels like.
And he hustles. He runs. He's a whole series here. He's run the ball hard to first base.
Lindor gets one in the air to center field. Rojas back in front of the warning track. And that retires the side. 7th inning stretch, 7-2 Philly. As the road ahead, brought to you by your Cadillac dealers. Night game tomorrow, then to Miami for 3 games. The Saturday and Sunday games on Pix 11, then 3 in Cleveland. Adrian Hauser out of the bullpen for the first time for the Mets.
Well, 33 career games out of the bullpen. His ERA is 1.71.
So his second time out. He pitched against the Braves in relief 5 days ago. Bryce Harper's driven in 3 runs tonight with a home run and a double. No migraines for Bryce. Now he's just providing them for the opposition. Ball 2 strikes to Harper with Bohm and Castellanos to follow. Brett Hardwood went an inning and 2/3. He allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned. Hit a batter. Harper lays off. 3-2.
First inning here. Harper got a fastball, bell tie away, and hit it right where it was pitched. Normally we see Harper pull. Double was the 2 RBI double was to left center field as well.
And he pokes one the other way past Vientos. Another left field hit for Harper. That one right off the end of the bat. And he's got his 3rd hit of the night.
High sinker. Not that far off the end. He got a little bit of enough of the meat of the bat to poke that through.
So the Phillies have their 8th hit of the game, and here's Alec Bohm. He's 0 for 2 in a walk. He was hit 2 warning track fly balls his last time up with the wind blowing in, each of which on a different kind of night might have left the ballpark. One to right and one to center. Change up down, ball and strike.
Well, boy, he turned, looked like, with 2 outs, almost hitting 500. Wow. Look at the MLB average.
He gets a double play ball, but it goes through the hole and into left field, a base hit. Back-to-back base hits against Hauser to start the 7th. Well, when that ball came off the bat, that Vientos was going to be able to reach it, but it was hit too hard.
A lot of topspin on it as well.
Well, you got a chance. You got a chance when it's on the ground, Gary, not when it's in the air. You need to keep it in the stadium.
Now Castellanos is 1 for 3. Single to right was thrown out, trying to stretch by Marte. And a fastball knee high for a strike, 0-1. Phillies came into the night hitting .280 as a team with runners in scoring position, and they've bettered that. They're 3 for 7 in this game. Adrian Hauser has plenty of relief experience, but most of it came early in his career with the Brewers. He's only been used a handful of times in relief the last few years. Breaking ball line to center field. Bader coming on, and he's got it for the first out. So Castellanos retired, 1 away, and Bryson Stott coming up.
Well, because he warmed up yesterday, it cost him to start today. Because he's in the game today, he won't be considered for Sunday or Monday when they move another pitcher into the rotation. So Hauser in the bullpen for a while.
Well, Carlos Mendoza said tonight that Tyler McGill is probably going to plug back into the rotation either Sunday in Miami or Monday in Cleveland. But the Mets are still going to go with a 6-man rotation. So I don't know if that means Joey Lucchesi sticks around for another start, or they go in a different direction. We're still almost 2 weeks from David Peterson or Kodai Senga being eligible. Senga's not going to be ready in 2 weeks. Peterson will be, though, if you wanted to go in that direction. In fact, Peterson pitched yesterday for Binghamton and went 5 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts.
How do you judge Lucchesi, on the 4 sharp innings or what you saw at the end?
But the good thing is, at least the Mets right now have some options in that area. Well, they didn't really have as many before. Ball strike to Stott. It's 2-1. Stott was hit on the leg by a pitch to start the 6th inning and came around to score. And stretches on base streak to 14 straight games. And he's just been wearing it out during that stretch. Takes a changeup off the plate from Hauser, and it's 3-1. Didn't know the Fanatic had a family. And that's inside ball 4, so Hauser digs the hole a little deeper and loads him up with 1 out. There's 5 walks for Met pitchers tonight. It's been a nightly affair. It's 192 walks in 376 innings. There's way too many. Corners are in against Edmundo Sosa. Bases loaded, 1 out. Sosa hits a ground ball to short. Lindor bobbles it, and he loses any play. The wheels have completely come off. Harper comes in to score to make it 8-2. Lindor, in his haste to try and start a double play, did not get anybody out. And that's an error on Sosa. Give an RBI to Sosa to make it 8-2.
I mean, just didn't get it out of the glove. And everything is snowballing for the Mets.
I mean, that's the Mets' second error of the game, but think of all the plays not made tonight. Last time up, Pache hit what looked like a double play grounder to third, but Vientos didn't handle it cleanly and was able to get the out at first. But that led to another run.
It's not a good night.
Started out with the Phillies making most of the mistakes early in the game. Johan Rojas dropping a fly ball, first batter of the game. They had 2 outfield errors in the first 2 innings. But it's the Mets who have been mishandling things through the middle of the game. Going 2 to Pache with the bases loaded and 1 out. And he hits a fly ball to center. That'll get a run in. Bader gets behind it. Bohm tags at third. Bohm will come in to score. The throw goes to third, and sliding in safely there is Stott, and Sosa moves up behind the plate to second. So it's a sacrifice fly for Pache, his second RBI of the game, to make it 9-2. And Bader, by throwing that ball to third, allowed Sosa to get into scoring position as well.
And he missed the cutoff man as well. If we're going to get picky here, and it's not really picky, it's his fundamentals. Really been better off throwing into second base. His ball's hit too deep.
So 2 out, now Rojas. And he takes a strike. Rojas 0 for 2. He had a sacrifice in the 5th. There's another mistake by the Mets. First and second, Rojas laid down a bunt. Lucchesi went to third, too late, and that loaded up the bases. And a sinker taken low, a ball and a strike. Stott now at third, Sosa at second with 2 out. And Rojas hits one off the thumbs down to third. Vientos has a tag play but doesn't take it. And everybody's safe and a run comes in. He had a runner coming at him, Sosa from third base, and instead of looking to try to tag him, he looked to first base where he had no play. Stott comes in to score, and it's 10-2.
Well, his momentum is going to carry him in front of the bag. You're right, Gare. He could have just stayed right on the bag and waited for the runner. And the Mets are just really playing probably their poorest game of the season.
Well, there was an infield hit for Rojas, driving in the 3rd run of the inning.
Let's see.
If he waits right there for the ball, he's got an easy tag play.
And he's worried. He's also worried about the ball hitting the base. That's a tough one. It's just it's snowballing.
Yeah.
What's Murphy's Law?
Daniel Murphy?
Bob Murphy? It would have hit the base. There's no question. Boy, oh boy.
Well, if it had hit the base, he would have been no worse off. Anyway, Schwarber, the batter, has been on base 3 times in a row with 2 singles and a walk. He's scored a run. He's driven in a run. And Hauser falls behind him 2-0. Schwarber, the 8th man up in the inning. The Phillies have scored 3 times. Their 3rd straight multiple run inning. They scored 4 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and have 3 runs home in the 7th. And Schwarber takes a big hack and fouls one back.
Yeah, he took a hack.
said there'd be days like this.
Well, another big hack from Schwarber.
Big crowd has hung in through the bad weather tonight. More than 37,000 paid at Citizens Bank Park tonight. Rain through the first several innings of the game. Wind's been blowing in. Schwarber takes breaking ball down, and it's 3-2. Sosa is the third. Rojas will be in motion from first with 3-2 and 2 out. And Schwarber goes down swinging to end the inning. But the Phillies put up 3 more runs and lead it 10-2. We go to the 8th inning, and J.D. Martinez leads off against Spencer Turnbull. Garrett Stubbs is now doing the catching. J.T. Realmuto, who's been bothered by a sore knee, gets the last couple of innings off. Stubbs started the last 3 games behind the plate for Philadelphia. And J.D. Martinez takes a big swing at a slider, 1-1. Turnbull starting his 3rd inning of relief. Given his starting pedigree, he might well be asked to finish this game. Be eligible for a 4-inning save. Slider off the plate, 2-1. Martinez 1 for 3 at a base hit back in the 5th. Martinez, Vientos, and Marte for the Mets in the 8th. Mets had leads of 1-0 and 2-1 in this game, but that's, well, it feels like a long time ago. High fly ball left field, that's deep. Back goes Pache near the wall, and it's out of here. J.D. Martinez with his 2nd home run of the season to cut the Phillies lead to 10-3. A moonshot for J.D. His first one broke up a no-hitter with 2 out in the 9th. His second one comes with the Mets down 10-2.
Well, in a game like this, you don't want to give away at bats. It's a hanging slide ball, and JD's all over it. And this was a moonshot.
Against the wind.
I keep running against the wind.
A Bob Seger.
Now Mark Vientos, whose day got off to a promising start, an RBI double in the 1st. Since then he struck out and hit to a fielder's choice.
Tucked shoulder right there. That's how you hit a breaking ball. Stay right in, and he's got that low ball swing. Makes him a terrific J.D. Martinez. That is, of course, a good breaking ball hitter.
From that side angle, you saw how small his stride is.
To Vientos, and he lines one into center field for his 2nd hit of the night. So back-to-back base hits for the Mets to start the 8th.
Hey, Brendan, they're hanging breaking ball. Just sitting there on the tee.
So now Starling Marte, who's 0 for 2 and a walk in this game. He's also notched another outfield assist tonight. Castellanos trying to stretch a single into a double. And Turnbull picks off the outside corner, 0-1.
Turnbull's got that three-quarter delivery, so when he gets on top of that ball, it's a good slider from a good angle, but he gets under some.
He's erratic with it.
And Marte tries to hold, and he stopped it in time. 1-2. Nope, I didn't. Nope. So here we are at 10-3 in the 8th, and Harper is holding against Vientos at first. Can you?
No, I can't.
Can you unwritten rule that one for me?
I can't fathom.
And Marte just got out of the way of that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Marte strokes that one to right center. Over in the gap, Castellanos to pick it off. And back to first goes Vientos, 1 out. So 3 hard-hit balls in a row for the Mets to start this 8th inning. And now Harrison Bader will bat. Hey, do you see who the hottest team in the National League is right now?
Yeah, the Colorado Rockies.
Colorado Rockies. They've won their 7th in a row today by shutting out San Diego 8-0. Jordan Beck hit his first major league home run, drove in 5 runs.
Austin Gomber with a gem.
6 innings, 2 hits. The Rockies in their 7-game winning streak have outscored the opposition 43-14. Who knew?
They got some good young talent on that team.
I mean, the shortstop Ezekiel Tovar is special.
Really like him. Brenton Doyle in center field.
It's a long chat out there on the mound.
They had last year's all-star hero, Elias Diaz, behind the plate.
I think he just got hurt and went on the IL. They need some good in Colorado.
Only 3 games behind the Giants, who have half their team hurt right now. Harrison Bader launches one to deep left field. Back goes Pache, and he makes the catch for the 2nd out. Side saddle catch. Phillies have some outfielders with some style.
They do. Be careful.
Well, we already saw Rojas drop one tonight.
That wind is blowing directly in now. Not so hard, but
so now Jeff McNeil, who fouled one off his knee last time up and then grounded out to first base. A nice play by Harper. And he drives one to right center field. Rojas cutting across, and he has it go off his glove and roll away. Vientos around third. He'll score. And in at second base with a double is Jeff McNeil. It's now 10-4. Looked like Rojas was going to make a spectacular play after covering a lot of ground, but the ball clanked off the glove.
that's 2. This is a little more difficult, obviously, but I think you got to make that play, huh? It's a tough night for him with the glove. He gets there, ran a long way for the ball, and just clank.
They do score that one a double, though, for McNeil.
Much needed.
Because he left his feet. 5 batters in this inning. They've all hit the ball 94 miles an hour or harder against Turnbull. 2 runs are in, and now Tomas Nido. And he hits one toward the middle. That's a base hit. McNeil around third. He's being waved home. And the Mets get a little closer. It's now 10-5. Tomas Nido with an RBI single, his 2nd hit of the night. We have another Mark Canha game on our hands.
Oh, why not?
So the Mets with 3 runs home in the inning to cut the deficit to 5. And now Brandon Nimmo, who's reached on an error, walked, gone 0 for 3. Tries to keep the line moving.
Turnbull's not going to make the 4-inning save, by the way.
Doesn't that way, no. Although there's nobody throwing behind him in the Phillies bullpen.
There's no one up right now, and I got to think someone's going to get up in a hurry. From the Phillies' perspective, you don't want to let this game get away.
They had a 10-2 lead when this inning began. Martinez hit what looked like a meaningless home run to start the inning, but the Mets have picked up 4 hits in the inning and scored 3 runs.
I mean, Nimmo flip him right here, and it's a whole different ball game.
All of a sudden, it's Alvarado getting ready for the 9th. One thing about the Phillies, though, tonight, they've got a fully rested bullpen with Aaron Nola having gone the distance on a shutout yesterday.
Good point, Gary.
Very different situation to the one that the Mets have found themselves in. With an overworked bullpen, it needed a spare part brought in today.
Nimmo pulls one, and Harper is there to snag it, and that retires the side. That score 3, highlighted by J.D. Martinez's home run. It's 10-5.
Home 8th inning, Adrian Hauser out for his 2nd inning of relief. Garrett Stubbs up for the first time, took over for Real Muto behind the plate. Stubbs started the 2 games in New York, went 1 for 8. And a bunt single to drive in a run. He had never played 3 straight games since joining the Phillies. He was exhausted. What did Rick Cerrone say? I didn't sign up for this.
Hey, they didn't pay me to start.
The Honda Sports Night after the post game tonight. Knicks and Rangers getting ready for their game 6. Ground ball down to first.
Nice. Flopping stop by Alonso. Threw it behind Hauser, who got to the bag in time.
Now, Pete has had a habit lately of throwing that ball behind the pitcher, and Hauser did a great job after Alonso made a terrific stop of his own to get that ball and get to the bag.
Well, the beautiful backhand here on the dive. And it's a nice play by Hauser. And he just did get him.
I think Pete is trying to lead the pitcher. What he really needs to do is just put a little more juice on it, you know?
Tell me about that play from a pitcher's perspective, where you're looking for the ball to be led and then it's behind you. How do you catch the ball and then find the bag?
Well, because the path you take puts you on the bag. If you do that play right, Gary, you have put yourself on a direct path to the bag.
Harper gets under one to center field, and Bader barely has to move.
There was a time they used to run to the foul line and then up towards first base. They don't really do that anymore because of the speed of the players. So now you kind of run straight there. But you take a path where you know that angle is going to put you at the base, in the vicinity of the base. Hauser did it properly.
Anthony Dominguez looks like he'll pitch the 9th inning for the Phils after a rough 8th for Spencer Turnbull. Alec Boehm has a single and a walk tonight. He's 1 for 3. In the 9th, the Mets will have Alonso, Lindor, and Martinez due up. And Boehm pops one foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hauser was tagged with 3 runs in the 7th inning, but only 1 of them was earned, the result of Lindor's error. And Boehm hits one out to left center, cutting across his Nimmo, and he's got it. 1-2-3 inning for Hauser, and we go to the 9th with the Phillies up 10-5. You can win a kickoff to summer celebration with us before a Mets game outside Citi Field. Scan the code or go to sny.tv/summer for more information and enter today. Ninth inning, 10-5 Phillies. Sir Anthony Dominguez makes his 2nd appearance against the Mets.
Yeah, he pitched on Monday's game, 25 pitches to get 2 outs.
Walked a couple, and the Mets hope maybe there'll be more of that in the tank. As Alonso swings at the first pitch and flies it to center field. And Johan Rojas will take care of that for the first out. So no waiting around.
As the numbers for Dominguez, who had a solid year last year, but has gotten off to a rough start. You know, when you're in the bullpen, you have a couple of bad outings in April, hang with them until about the All-Star break.
Now Francisco Lindor, who's been on base twice tonight, a walk and hit by pitch. He's stolen 2 bases. And he takes a knee-high fastball for a strike. Spencer Turnbull went 3 innings in relief through 54 pitches, 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Ranger Suarez is pitcher of record on the long side as Lindor skies one to shallow right. Stott going out, and he'll call and catch. And the Mets, just like that, are down to their final out. 3 pitches, and Dominguez has the first 2 outs. J.D. Martinez, the batter. J.D. has a single, and then he homered leading off the 8th inning, his 2nd of the year. It's in danger of their 3rd straight loss and their 15th in the last 22 games. Grounded down to third, a 4-pitch inning for Sir Anthony Dominguez as the Mets go quickly in the 9th. And the Phillies have taken the first 3 of this 4-game home-and-home series. A sloppy game all the way around on both sides, but the Mets wound up on the short end of a 10-5 score.
Well, again, the Mets just had a sloppy game in the field. The pitching again, the walks hurt. Lucchesi got off to a hot start, but had the big inning with the walks. And the walks have been the big bugaboo, and this is really could be a nadir for this club right now. This was probably their worst game they played of the season.
Ranger Suarez goes to 8-0. He's won 10 in a row. Last time that was done by a Philly, Roy Oswalt, 2010, 2011.
Suarez gave up just 2 unearned runs tonight, lowered his ERA to 1.37. Joey Lucchesi was good for 4, but not good in the 5th when he walked 3 batters and the Phillies took the lead, and they never looked back from there as Rangers celebrate Suarez's 8th victory without a loss this year. Bryce Harper back in the lineup. Homer drove in 3, and the Phillies have put a hurting on the Mets the last 3 days, dropping them 4 games under 500 by beating them tonight 10-5. We'll come back with more from Philadelphia in just a moment.